Hey everyone, welcome back to take 3 of our Game 2 preview. This is not going great. I'm Carl, Dakota's here. We're going to skip
Hello,
past
everybody.
slide 1. Out of action test. It's the way that we heal our units in between games for our Horde Mode Crusade. Um, the
We
number,
actually didn't have any heals to take place.
yes.
Basically, roll a d6 for how many you want to heal, and that's how many models you get back. We were basically the one model down or fewer, or just like a vehicle with wounds.
Yep.
So
So
wasn't very
if
impactful.
you're like, hey, I want to heal 4 models, you got to roll 4 plus. If you roll a 1, 2, or 3, you're going to take a battle scar, and those have negative things. So yep. Every model, every unit we had survived did so with missing 1 or fewer models. Boom. Okay. Uh, unit leveling. First sepsis of Plague Marines. If we sound short-winded, it's because the
This is
the technical difficulties. This is the third time we've recorded this. First sepsis of Plague Marines. They gained 6 XP. They are blooded. You know, it'd make us feel a lot better if anyone's listening to this. Like and comment and stuff. Let us know like you feel for our woes right now because we are a minute and a half into this video. We are 30 minutes into recording this dumb episode at this point that I'm pretty sure no one watches.
right.
Okay, here we go. 6 XP, rank of blooded. I grabbed them the sensitive dermis battle trait here out of the 9th edition Death Guard Codex, which is where I'm pulling a lot of my flavorful stuff because I don't have a codex yet for 10th edition because they
Mhm.
think it's a good idea to wait forever to release things that they know they're going to release anyways. Each time a model in this unit makes an Overwatch attack, the attack hits on an unmodified roll of a 5 instead of a 6. I'm really doubling down on the Overwatch for this unit. I have 4 torrent weapons plus whatever regular ranged weapons. I need this unit to do lots of killing because this is where my warlord will be. He needs a lot of experience points, and we'll
Mhm.
get to why here in a minute. My first Scourge Blightler Terminators, they also scored 6 XP, rank of Blooded. They're picking up Battle Scarred Resistance. Models in this unit have a Feel No Pain of 6 up. Just add a little beefiness to the Terminators.
This is also coming from the Tyrannic Wars Crusade. Carl's getting his stuff from his 9th edition Codex Core Rules and the Tyrannic Wars Crusade. I'm getting mine from my 10th Dark Angels Codex and Space Marine Codex Core Rules and the Tyrannic War Crusade. So I do have a little bit more options, but I'll just tell you the Dark Angel options aren't that great.
Right. Um, First Torment of Death Shroud Terminators, they only gain 3 XP. They're still hanging out at that battle ready rank. And then Naglax the Witherer, he is my warlord, 11 XP. Basically, any place that we did score free XP, additional XP, or whatever, I'm throwing it on him because I want him to ascend to Demonhood. The way that these Death Guard characters can ascend to Demonhood is through Chaos Boons. When you get a battle honor, you can roll for a random chaos boon. Here's the list of chaos boons. Uh, I rolled the clawed feet, add 3 to this model's move characteristic. We'll see how useful that ends up being or not with him being tied to a unit of plague marines. Um, yeah, I was just thinking if he's in a unit with another character, because Death Guard can put 2 in their Plague Marines, if I could get them both clawed feet, then maybe it would help me keep some coherency and actually use this ability. But anyhow,
Yeah, I mean, really, with the 3 inches, you get 2 inches of coherency, so you can do a little bit of shenanigans. You can't like fully exploit that though,
right.
but like you can do some stuff though. Like it'll add for some shenanigans.
But the reason I'm chasing after these chaos boons is when I get a fourth chaos boon, you don't actually get a fourth chaos boon. I can spend a CRP for Demonhood, and I can ascend Naglax the Witherer here to a Demon Prince. So that is his goal, but it's going to require lots of XP, lots of level ups, and maybe it happens. It may not, though. If I double up on any of these rolls for the Chaos Boons, I will actually turn my character into a Chaos Spawn, which is still a air quotes kind of level up in points per model because Dakota and I talked. He's just gonna cost what he cost as the tally man,
Mhm.
whether he ascends to Demon Hood or Chaos Spawn or whatever. But it's just really cool, flavorfully, to like this character wants to ascend to Demon Hood, and they're gonna do some sketchy shit to try to do it, and it may go sideways along the way.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
should be good fun.
yeah, should be good fun. So Neglax, he got clawed feet. Add 3 to his move characteristic, and yeah, that's it so far for my unit leveling for Death Guard.
On to the Dark Angels.
Hey Dakota,
So
real
what's
quick,
that?
we're still recording this time.
Nice.
Congratulations.
So on to my Dark Angels. This first, so I've actually added a few units of Deathwing in here. One of the things that I can spend some CRP on is just spend 1 CRP when they're added to the list, make them blooded. This unit was actually originally on my ship. I meant to spend this beforehand. Uh, we ended up kind of like going back and giving it to him after the fact because it was pretty much the plan. And I had the CRP. It's not like I couldn't have done it.
Right, right,
And it wouldn't have made a difference game one. Well, it could have made a difference game one, but it didn't.
right. Okay.
Um, so essentially, this unit has 9 XP now. They're blooded. They're getting the battle honor of the 6 battle scarred resistance as their battle honor for the 6+ feel no pain. Basically, a couple units that I'm taking this, I'm just doubling down on the ability to have them be tanky.
Right. Just hoping to get a little more out of the investment of the
Yeah,
Crusade
and really too, yeah. Once they since they're gonna be more tanky, like once I rank them up further and make them more like offensive, it'll just kind of work better for them to like last longer without just getting killed.
sure.
Same with these inner circle companions. They're getting the 6+ feel no pain. They do not have an invuln, but they can get a character and be -1 to hit. So really just trying to make them just slightly more tanky as well. So that when I do throw other buffs on them, they live. If they end up dying with just this, no big deal. I can add another Deathwing unit with this same perk
Mm-hmm.
and keep moving.
Yeah.
Terminators, I didn't go with the tankiness for them because the idea with this unit is they're probably going to be in the ship most of the time or coming in late in the game. Maybe they can like deep strike in, hit a charge, punch some stuff, but they get echoes of the Primarch. So once per game, melee gets sustained hits 1. So like I said, I can drop them in, hit a charge, punch some stuff, get extra attacks, just to buff their melee up a little bit
Sure.
further.
For when that hero fan spawns right in your face.
Basically, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yes. The Lancer, this one leveled up on its own in the first game. I gave it the honor of Blessed Hull, basically for a 5+ invuln because it doesn't have one. You know, just essentially if that hero fan for some reason does spawn again,
Yeah.
instead of being like AP8 and it just goes straight through a tank, I at least get a 5+ save. So trying to just mitigate or give myself the ability to have a save.
The hall would be rather blessed at that point.
Tech Marine, I gave him the relic Halo Indomitus. This is essentially the same thing, making him more tanky. He is a lone op, shouldn't be in the fight too much, but if there's ever a chance where a vehicle dies next to him, I can have a 4+ feel no pain versus those mortals, and then I can like charge him off into a combat and still have like a 4+ save. So he's essentially, I'm valuing the tankiness this first round of buffs versus the killiness because even to like how the horde mode works, you need to be able to like tank and last throughout the game,
Yeah.
especially if you're like in
Sure.
melee. So
All right. Game 2 list. My uh, my units that are being deployed to start the game: Tallyman, Foul Blight Spawn, first Sepsis of Plague Marines, third Sepsis of Plague Marines, first Scourge Blightlord Terminators, the first Blow Drone of the Black Infestation, and the second Rhino of the Black Infestation. One of those Tallymans is going to be Neglax the Witherer. The other one has a name, but he hasn't played yet, so I don't have it in front of me. Neglax is also, he's going to be in a 10 mana Plague Marines, and he's going to have this Foul Blight Spawn, so that's where, we have the Plague Belcher, the Plague Spewer, whatever Torrent weapon the Blight Spawn has, and then there's another, I'm getting another Torrent weapon from somewhere. Lots of Overwatch, which that's another reason that I'm bringing to Tallyman is because you can abuse the CP gain in this game mode that you can't abuse in normal game mode. So in normal game mode, you had 2 Tallymans. You get 2 opportunities to gain that CP, but if you hit the first one, the second one, he's just going to sit there. So it's kind of a waste. Normally in Horde mode, it is not. So I'm going to try to get lots of CP because I plan on doing lots of overwatching.
Yep.
Oh, go ahead.
No, so your Foul Blight Spawn, he's the fights first guy too, correct?
He's fights first
Yeah.
and a torrent weapon.
So basically how it's like going to work for in-game is the Tyranids will deploy, they'll move at you, which at that point, in theory, you can overwatch because you have CP.
Yep.
If you don't kill them all in Overwatch, they then charge you because it's just how they're built. But you fight first on that charge.
Yes.
So essentially, like anything really like light chaffy thing that's going to come at you, you should kill it before it does anything to you.
I should get to go absolute murder hobo on
which that's pretty good. It's a pretty good little like combo thing that you got going on there.
It should be on paper. It's good enough to where it kind of feels broken right now.
Yes, on paper.
But we'll see. In my capital reserves, I have a sorcerer and Terminator armor, my 4th Sepsis of Plague Marines, my 1st Torment of Deathshroud Terminators, and my 1st Plague Burst Crawler of the Black Infestation. The Deathshroud Terminators did get on the battlefield in Game 1. The 4th Sepsis of Plague Marines didn't exist because the 2nd Sepsis was still alive. The Plague Burst Crawler stayed in capital reserves the whole time. And we didn't add the CP strat yet to rationalize ever putting a character in capital reserves, which we do have now, and we'll kind of get to more of that towards the end here.
Yep. On to my list. So playing Space Marines without CP was really hard. A lot of their benefits are just coming, like playing Space Marines and using your command points is kind of the thing you need to do. So I actually am adding Azrael into my game 2 list. I don't really want to because I feel like it's taken away from that flavorfulness of like building your own characters, but I'm at least throwing him in for this right now to like make sure I need the CP versus not needing the CP.
Sure.
I'm also running with a Captain and Terminator armor now. He didn't exist. He's jumping in here. I actually haven't named any of these guys yet, except for the Lancer, which was in the first game. But the Captain Terminator armor, he's going into the Knights. Azrael, he's going into Hellblasters to make them shoot real hard. And then I'll have the Lancer. Basically, it's kind of like I have like 3 layers going. The Deathwing Knights are going to like be on the point fighting because they don't have any guns. They're just going to be like fighting in melee. Azrael's unit will be kind of in that like mid-range point where it's like not that they want to charge and fight, but they could. But they're going to be shooting their guns, and the Lancer can kind of just like stand in the back out of the way.
So Azrael, like they'll probably charge if you reliably think you're going to clean the unit up.
Yes, because Azrael has a good sword. Hellblasters are just gun dudes. Right. So,
sure.
Yeah, it could just be to like help clean it up, do whatever they need to do, but not be on the front line.
Right.
In the capital reserves, then I have my Tech Marine from the first game. He'll be in the wings, ready and waiting. I'll also have a Chaplain. I had 1 die in the first game. This is going to be like the second Chaplain. We have, which we'll see in the next slides, I believe, he is going to be attached to the Inner Circle Companions to make their role kind of pop off. The theory is with the Inner Circle Companions is they're a unit that can come in and they're going to be strong in melee if I need it to like sweep things up late in the game. I'll have a second 5 Hellblasters. This, headcanon wise, this is the second half of the 10-man that Azrael is going to be in. So if I want to like upgrade the 1 unit that like headcanon wise, it's and it worked out points wise. I'll also have the Deathwing Terminators that I leveled up, or added to it that we kind of went over already. They're waiting in the wings, and then I'll have a Gladiator Reaper, just kind of a shooty gun tank that can come in as well. That the Tech Marine can also buff. So a few different options. Got some melee, got some shooting, got some tankiness.
One thing I wanted to mention about my list. So far we've just kind of been like, hey, my army's on this side, Dakota's army's on that side, and like, the Tyranids come from wherever. I really want us to like blend a little better as an army. So that's why I grabbed the Bloat Drone, because it's the only fast thing I have, and I want to kind of move it around and keep it safe, but put it in positions where the Death Guard army rules can affect some of the Tyranids that Dakota's fighting with.
Yeah.
so that I could kind of debuff dudes even on his, because I just don't have the speed, obviously, to be like, oh, he needs some help over there. Like, let me do something. The Rhino and Bloat Drone, once the Rhino drops off whomever is in it, then those guys can kind of run around the board and assist where needed and spread my army rules to places where even Dakota's guys could
Yeah.
benefit. That was the point in the first Bloat Drone of the Black Infestation.
Yes. Yeah.
All right. Requisition points. Crusade, the CRP, as we're calling them here. My first Sepsis, they got rearm and resupply. I didn't really mean to. This is where you can change war gear options for models, and models in that unit are equipped with as described on the unit status sheet. Basically, I started messing with the list a little and trying to, once I was like, okay, like I want Neglax to ascend to Demonhood. What's the best way to do that? I'm like, okay, he needs to be in like a balanced but killy unit. And then I kind of was like, oh, I don't remember what models I had in here, what they had. So I said, screw it. I'm just going to buy this so that I'm not breaking any rules.
Right.
And I was like, there, I can just build the unit the way I want now that I have this concept in mind, because I didn't before the campaign about
Yeah.
um,
How you want to do
the
it.
demon hood thing. I didn't
Yeah.
read that much into it.
Right.
So my first Sepsis, rearm resupply. My Sorcerer and Terminator armor, he's going to get the bolstering leadership, which is, it's 1 CRP per 50 points of the unit's cost, the model's cost. I think he's like 65 or 75 or something, so he costs 2 CRP. When adding a unit from your capital reserves, you can add this character to that unit. The character must be one that could normally be in 1 CRP per 50. So he's going to go in my Death Shroud Terminators, so that when, hopefully, but when my Death Shroud Terminators get to deploy out of capital reserves, they're going to do so with a Sorcerer and Terminator armor.
Yes.
And then, because I think we had
this, I don't know if we talked about it before. This was kind of our fix, because you would never, in theory, want to put a character in your capital reserves unless it was like some like blown up solo character that can just go do stuff. Now it's like, oh, I can take a character that can lead a unit, and you'll want him to lead a unit.
Right.
So then you can also like gain them XP. So you're not just like putting them in on your list fresh.
Yeah. I think I had 8 CRP. Pretty sure I spent all of them. So I've spent the last 4 here on Focus Command. Purchase this requisition before the battle. During your command phase, you can attempt to gain a command point by rolling a number equal to or less than the points spent on this requisition on 1d6. So I spent 4 points. So every command phase, I can roll 1d6 on a 1, 2, 3, or 4. I will gain a command point. So I potentially watch this game, I will gain 3 command points every single round, whereas last game I gained 1 command point the whole damn game.
Yeah.
But I should reliably be able to get 1 command point around here. I'm putting a lot of resources into getting command points because I want that Overwatch, and I want a couple of the other Death Guard strats, the sustained hits, the crits on 5+. They have some good strats that I had no access to in game 1 and was really wanting for trying to turn up my damage, or there's some strats for like some tankiness too that may be needed. So that's my 8 requisition points spent there.
Yeah, I don't remember how many I started with. I know I have 4 left though. Or I should have about 4 left. I'll either have like 2 or 4 left. Either way, Deathwing Knights.
It's written down somewhere. That is not what it was at the moment.
Inner Circle Companions and Terminators, they all gained, it's called Veteran Initiates, which is in the Dark Angels 10th edition codex. Essentially, spend 1 CRP, you make them blooded when they're added to your army. Like I said, Deathwing Knights, they were in reserves last time they got added. Companions, Terminators, they both got added. I actually was thinking about this after the fact, after we even put this together. I could have just vetted up the captain because he's technically a Deathwing unit, but I was like, screw it. I don't even give a shit right now. He's gonna have to do it the old-fashioned way.
Right.
So that was 3 CRP that I spent right there. Between them, and then I spent 2 more CRP with the bolstering leadership. Almost said that wrong. 2 CRP. He will drop in, like I said, with the inner circle companions. That unit's rules key off of needing a leader. So I was like, I'll drop them in there. They're not the most tanky, so I didn't want them to start on the battlefield. Basically, like I said, late game, if I can bring a unit in, I'm going to bring them in. Hopefully, they can kill a few things, level up the chaplain, level up themselves some more, have some fun.
Right,
That's
right.
the role of them right now, because the chaplain's giving +1 to wound in melee for a good fighting unit. So
Gotcha. All right. The Horde mode detachment for game 2. I kind of forgot about this. So
Mhm.
we had we've identified 4 detachments as being like we're using them as essentially to theme our spawns, right?
Yes,
Um all right, so out of the 4 detachments here, or out of the 6, Invasion Fleet, Crusher Stampede, Unending Swarm, Assimilation Swarm, Vanguard Onslaught, and Synaptic Nexus. We said 4 of these would make good themes. Invasion Fleet, which is kind of your balanced one, which is what we did for game 1.
kind of
Crush,
everything.
yeah, a little bit everything. Crusher Stampede, Unending Swarm, and Vanguard Onslaught were going to be the other 2 or the other 3 that we said would make good ones. The reason we didn't do the Assimilation Swarm and the Synaptic Nexus is just because those require a little more thought
Hmm.
to flavor, I guess. Um, and that's just not something we wanted to do with the Horde mode.
Well, they also too, I believe their detachment rules trigger more off of stuff than than like just playing.
Right,
Where the Crusher, it's like, oh, you just get more OC and stuff. Um, and the other one's the same way, where it's just like this, and it's almost like flavored in just a way that makes sense. The other ones are like, no, you need rules to play them in a
right,
certain way.
yeah,
So
yeah.
we're just
This one
avoiding
we're
them.
just grabbing bodies, right? That match it.
Yep.
So I
Hmm.
have a die in my hand right now. A 1-2 will be Crusher Stampede, a 3-4 will be Unending Swarm, and a 5-6 will be Vanguard Onslaught. Vanguard Onslaught it is. So this is going to be the Deep Strike heavy match. I'm actually super excited. Uh, if anyone
Hmm.
hasn't been following along, our Deep Strike mechanic is that if a unit is chosen to spawn for the Horde that has Deep Strike, we will roll a die. If the die is equal to or less than the current game round, that unit will spawn within 3 inches of a random unit um, favoring the player's side of the board, something along those lines. So basically, the later we get into a game, since it's equal to or less than game round, is the higher the chances that a unit with deep
Hmm.
strikes.
Yeah.
We're gonna see what happens with this. This might have been a terrible idea.
Yeah, this could be a really bad idea. If it plays out poorly, we might make adjustments on it, but it's definitely just like you know, play it out and see how it
Flavorfully,
goes. Yeah.
flavorfully, it. I mean, if it's absolute chaos and we just get rolled, like I'm gonna laugh my ass off the whole time.
Oh yeah, for sure.
If we may be starting with just new list for game 3.
Yeah.
Um, so we will post to probably the Facebook. It's just the easiest place for us to put information out. We will post to the Facebook when these games are going to be happening. It won't be this weekend. It probably won't be next weekend. We're probably a few weeks away from this one, just for
Mhm.
scheduling purposes.
Yep.
But soon, And if this sounds interesting to you, be sure to subscribe so you can catch the content and let us know what you think. And we would greatly appreciate that because we've sort of put a lot of work into this and we think it's pretty cool. And we would like it if other people think it's cool too.
Yeah, it's just a very fun way to play. That's not strictly like competitive or just like crusade like
Yeah.
versus, more just like a cooperative fun way to do
And
the game.
honestly, like game one, you hear me say it a few times. If people go back and watch like that full game, is like I felt more comfortable with my army's rules and stuff than I ever have.
Hmm.
Just like consistently knowing like, hey, I have devastating wounds here and little things like that, you know.
Hmm. Yep.
So it was awesome. Um, all right, well, we're 26 minutes into an hour and a half of recording, so I'm good if you're good.
Yeah, nope. Thanks for joining us, everybody. Remember to like and subscribe, check out our other videos, leave a comment, all that good stuff. But thanks for joining us.
All right, bye everybody.
Bye.
Bye.